Hey guys, it's Susan. I'm back again, and today I'm going to teach you how to make candy bangles. So one of my favorite types of bracelets to wear is a bangle, but I really like a lot of color in my jewelry as well. So I wanted to figure out a way to make a bangle that was beaded, but I didn't want a clasp, and I didn't want anything obvious that held it together. So I came up with this idea that I could make a continuous beaded bangle, and then after I invented the way to do it, I figured out that I could put these really brightly colored beads on them and call them candy bangles. And so that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. Okay, to get started with this project, you're going to need about 4 feet of 20 gauge wire and some pretty beads in candy colors, so they look like candy bangles. This is an 8mm bead that I'm going to be working with today. You can also do it with a 6mm bead and or a 10mm bead if you want to. And then as far as tools are concerned, you're going to want to have a ruler and a flush cutter and also a chain nose plier. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the beginning on just a little scrap piece of wire because I already strung some of my beads here. So you guys don't have to watch me string 8mm beads for a half an hour, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get started with this on this piece. So this is just a piece of 20 gauge wire, and I'm going to make a little curlicue at the end, and that's what's going to be the beginning and end of my bracelet. So you're just going to take the tip of the plier and grab the very end of the wire and then roll it into a circle, like so. And then from there, I am really a little bit of a perfectionist about my curlicues, so I actually take just a little bit of that wire and trim that off before I continue. And then I'm just going to grab that partial coil that I made with my chain nose plier, and I'm just going to start rolling this up into a little spiral. So you can see how you do this. A lot of people struggle with this. What you want to do is you want to grab it with the larger part of your chain nose plier way up here, and you want to grab the whole thing, and then you want to almost like you're doing the motion of a pair of scissors. You're just going to go like that. Just pull it in, both hands together, and it just automatically rolls up into this really pretty coil. And then I like to make them right in the center, so I'm just going to bend this back a little bit. See how I did that? And then I'm going to keep rolling. Just like so. And then see how it kind of sits right at the very end. So that's how you start your bangle. And then once you get that done, then you're going to start stringing on your beads. And like I said, I'm using 8mm beads right now, so I'm just going to string on 8.5 inches of beads onto my 20 gauge wire. So like magic, you can see I already have some of them strung here, and I'm not quite to 8.5 inches, I'm at about 8 inches, so I'll string a couple more. The only thing that's difficult about this project is that you have a lot of wire when you first start, so it's kind of crazy. But let me get that in the middle, and I need to put about 3 more beads on here, so I'm going to do that before I get started. I find that 8.5 inches makes a nice solid medium-sized bangle. So this is a medium-sized bangle. For a large bangle, you're going to go with 9 inches, and for a small bangle, you would go with 8 inches. And obviously, if for a child or somebody really small, you can go even smaller, and if you have a larger hand, you can go even larger. But the size of a bangle has nothing to do with the size of your wrist. It has to do with the size of your hand. So keep that in mind when you're sizing these guys. So now what you're going to do is, we're kind of using that little curlicue there as a paddle, and you're going to wrap that 20 gauge wire around the coil, just like so, and then you are going to start wrapping around the bead. So I'm going to go over the first bead, pull all the wire through, and then go around between the beads one time. Now if you want more wire, like you want to do a couple wraps between each one, you can do that, but you're going to need more wire than 4 feet. 4 feet's all I can handle, so I'm just using the 4 feet, and I'm going to go around one time between each one. So there, I'm going over and between, now over and between, like so. And I also make these bangles multicolored sometimes with different shapes and sizes of beads. And that is really fun because you can make it to match just about any outfit. And I really enjoy doing that. But when I do it that way, I generally don't go as perfect with the wire. I'll do like a couple wraps over one bead and maybe do a curlicue or a twist or something over the top of another bead, just to kind of give it a little interest. But that's a really fun way to make a bangle. I'd love to see what you guys do with this technique because it's really easy and really fun, and you can just really think of all different kinds of ideas to make these bangles. Oh my gosh, look at that. I just barely made it. And then at the end, you want to come around one more time on the first one and wrap over that. That kind of secures that little area right there. You always want to make sure you do that. And finally, I'm just going to press down my little curlicue. Let me get my chain nose plier. Let's shape it up first. So you want to make it round, and because you've used this 20 gauge wire, it's really easy to shape them into a circle. Okay, so last thing, when I clip off the excess wire, look how much I had. Isn't that crazy? I have like a 1/4 inch. I clip it off underneath and then take my chain nose plier and press it in to that space between the beads because I don't ever want to feel that. And then you just take your little curlicue right here and just find a good little space for him and press that down like so. And voila, you're finished. Pretty cute, right? So don't forget the tools and supplies that you need to make this bracelet. You're gonna have to have a couple tools. You'll need your chain nose plier, a flush cutter. And then as far as supplies, you're going to need about 4 feet of the 20 gauge wire. And you're also going to need some 8mm rounds or 6mm rounds or 10mm rounds. And if you want to make candy bangles, you're going to want to get these really brightly colored beads because that's kind of what makes it look like candy. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys would like to pick up some supplies like the ones we worked with today, check out the links down below. What kind of beads would you use on your bangle? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.